Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to another CTT evening 10-mile time trial. Once again, we're on the V718 course. That's South Cave in Hull. It's the UK's flattest 10-mile get my words out, 10-mile time trial course. So we're expecting some fast times tonight. Currently 29 riders on line, but looking at the rider list on the app, we should have a few more sign up before the start. And in fact, you can see them joining now. There's been a new update to RGT released today. And what I'm hoping is that riders allow enough time, because it's just taken me about 7 minutes to sort everything out, to sort the phone app and the desktop app. But I can see riders are joining pretty quickly now, so hopefully nobody gets caught out and everybody that wants to ride has logged in time. RGT, to their credit, do announce on the websites when there's a new update, but not everybody, certainly if they've been working all day, is going to see that notification. So the first notification they're going to get is when they try to log on and they're told to upgrade. Now, if you've got a decent gaming PC like me, it doesn't take that long, but you've got to update both your phone app and the desktop app. So as I say, it took about 7 minutes for me. Now let's get back to tonight and the time trial. We've had a couple of really cracking results the last few weeks. Rob Stone won 2 weeks ago with a short 22, and then last week we had a 21, a mid 21 that won. So I'm expecting it'll be a 21 that probably takes the cup tonight. We've got some regular riders taking place, including the organizer Stuart Smith. So and in fact he's just gone in the chat and saying evening to everybody. So it should be an exciting race. And what you have to remember is what you're currently seeing on screen is it says time trial starting in 7 minutes. That's for me. I'm on the second row and that's my start time. Riders are going off at 10-second intervals. So the first rider is actually going off in 4 minutes time. It starts at 1900 hours GMT, 2000 hours CET, which is where I am in Holland. So I can only cover the riders once they have actually started riding. And according to this list, it looks like Jay Pritchard is going to be the rider off first. But as you can clearly see, I'm watching the start line, so we'll see when riders... What happens is they don't actually start the time trial until they're some way up the road. They have to ride from the starting position, and when the clock starts is when they're actually a little bit further up the road. So 3 minutes to go. Now, something else to mention, and something I've got wrong in the past, but have managed to nail it the last 2 weeks, is I have to jump on my bike because in order to cover this event, I have to be a competitor. And although I'm not going to complete the time trial, I do have to start it, and I do have to cycle every 30 minutes. Well, before every 30 minutes. Otherwise, the software will kick me out of the event. So that's something else. I've set timers on my phone to remind me. So if you hear beeping in the background at about the 25-minute point after I've started, then you know why, because it's the timers kicking in to remind me to get on the bike, turn the pedals, check that my power and this lot is being recorded, and then away we go. Now this software is pretty brilliant for covering the event, but if there's a lot of riders, I try to catch every rider starting, and by the time I've done so, the front riders are halfway up the course. But I will get every finisher. So we will get every finisher finishing, and I will also have at least one run through the pack to show every rider on the road, including the start. So I don't think I can do much better than that. And it's gone pretty well over the last few weeks. I really enjoy this event because it gets exciting as I'm calling out the times, which are provisional, but I've been spot on the last couple of weeks. So the times I call out are only provisional. You have to go to the website to see the official times. Excuse me. So should be starting any moment now. Here we go, 8 o'clock. So the first rider should start. There we go. So here we go. Mr. George is starting. And then what we do is we can go back to the pack. Look, there's Mr. George on the road, and we should see the next rider. And there he is. And the next rider, of course, is Mr. Shaw. So he's away. And then we've got M. Balk. He's the third rider away. Now you can see the two riders on the road. Then we've got Spencer. He's putting in a good effort as he's starting, and in fact he's catching his 10-second man. Shipley is just getting going. You see how the power is limited, or the speed is limited until they get to a certain point. So here's the next rider going off, JMC. So they line up on the start line. And watch what happens. He starts very slowly. Come on, you should. Oh no, it's Pritchard going off. Okay, so there he goes, very slowly, and then once he reaches a certain point on the course, the time trial starts. Carter starting, and again, Vasfelo, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, on his way. There's Vasfelo. Glover, on his way. Heaton Jones, on his way. Howells, putting in some nice watts. Ferreira, he's been a good rider over the last few weeks. There's the next one. Who's this fellow? Let's go off. There we go. Hicks. It's a bit confusing sometimes in golf because sometimes the riders don't go off in the order they're showing in the list. They go off in the order they arrived at the start line, which is not necessarily what's shown in the list. So it can sometimes Becky. He's been a regular. Hitchcock. He's away. Moore. Now, I don't know if the 70 means 70-year-old. If so, that's pretty good. And my time trial is starting, you can see, in 30 seconds. So I now have to get on the bike. I'll pick up the starters as soon as mine starts. I need to go myself. Here we go. Check that my power's showing, which it is. Come on, Cadence, kick in. There's my Cadence. I can now get back to the race. So we'll get back to the... There's Clay's coming past me. Gonzalez will be coming past me very shortly. As I say, I'm not taking part in the road, so in the race, so I'll be soon going to the side of the road. Carter's just had a look at Voller, and we're back to the start line. So Voller was the last man to start. Now we've got BCTT, DBCT. I wonder what the 71 refers to. Maybe somebody will leave a comment for me and let me know. Suminen. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Walsh. Now he's done pretty well as well in the last few weeks. Little is just getting underway. Let's see if we can pick him up. There we go. Pick up C Little on the road. Hunt is just getting underway. Okay, we've nearly got all the riders on the road now, so I'll be able to switch to the lead and then I'll work my way through the pack again. Here's Gordon, just set off. Morales, he's been on the leader list, you see, for quite a while now. And as I say, the leader list doesn't necessarily mean the order they're going to go off. There's Stuart Smith catching Morales already. So he's on a flyer, putting out 5 watt-kilos almost. You can see him pulling away and in fact catching the man in front of him. We'll get back and see how Stuart's doing shortly. Ellis, another regular. Hayes, Linden from the Netherlands. Kevin from France. Saib 91, whatever that means. And Rowbottom, but we can't see him yet because there we go. I don't know why the trees are suddenly hiding the starters, but never mind. Durant on the road. Can't have many more to start now. Now there's a name to try and pronounce. Tixera? Sorry if I got you wrong, sir. Perez? Mio to go next. There's Mio. Oh, Mio. Come on. No bag, in fact. There we go. And off he goes. Beans. Fonseca. And this should be the last. Yep. Mio should be the last rider on the road. Come on, Mio. Away you go. Fonseca. Mio. Are you going? Showing 0 watt-kilos, so perhaps he's not. Well, we'll have to check on him later. I'm going to get back to the front of the race now then. Okay, so the front of the race, we've got W. Spencer, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's winning the race. Don't forget, this is a time trial where every rider has gone off and is doing their own individual time. So there's no saying that W. Spencer, just because he's in the lead at the moment or in the lead on the road, is leading the time trial. And what we'll do now is we'll work our way back through the pack and see who's who. You can see George has got Spencer in sight. Then you've got Shaw somewhere behind the two of them. You can just see the riders in front in the distance. Then you've got Glover. And again, this appears to be a good distance between him and the rider in front. But you've got Pritchard coming up on Glover. And catching fairly quickly, actually. Then you've got Carter. Rivera. And here you've just seen Hicks going past Heaton Jones, and looking at the watt kilos difference, he's pretty soon going to catch Ferreira as well. Or maybe not. No, they're not too far apart. But you can see we've now got the view of four riders on the road. One in the distance, one behind, Hicks catching, and Heaton Jones keeping pace nicely. And we've got Bulk somewhere behind, Howells. Now, going through the field like this gives you a good idea of, who's picking up through the field, if you remember the starting order, which is a little bit difficult to do unless you actually know all the riders. But you get a good feeling for who's putting the pace in as you go through, because you can see the power output in the top left-hand corner. As I'm going through the riders, you can see that this Mr. Walsh is doing 320 watts, and you can see this man is doing 286, 300 watts. So you can get an idea, although obviously watts is based on the size and shape of the rider, but it does give you an indication, as does watching the kph, the speed. If you look at the speed difference between the riders, you can tell who's catching and who's falling behind, and that's one of the measurements I use. Like you can see Stuart Smith is coming up nicely on Voller and going past, and the reason he's gone past so quickly, let's just let's Smith, there's Voller. So Voller's doing 36 and Smith's doing 43. So that's a 7 km/h difference, which is why he passed so quickly. Then you've got Hunt, and he's catching Voller because he's doing 40 as opposed to the 36 that Voller in front is doing. So there's a 4 km/h difference there. And you've got Ellis coming up. I'm shifting through reasonably quickly now because I just want to get a good feel on the road, and then we'll get back to the front and see how far the leader has to go. The riders we're currently looking at, if you look at the graphic, have currently done 3.5 Ks, give or take. So these are the latter riders on the road. Whoa, and look at Barg going. Let's just catch up with Barg and see what his speed is. Okay, he's doing a nice 45 km/h, putting in 300, over 300 watts. So he's going to be a definite competitor tonight. Oh, that there's no doubt. Got Perez, Durant, Beans, and then me at the end. So Beans is the Lantern Rouge at the moment. He's the last rider on the road. Doesn't mean he's the slowest rider, it just means he's the last rider. So what we're going to do now is work our way back up the field quickly till we get to the front. You can see Perez is putting in a really good effort, but Barg is certainly not hanging about. He's He's putting in a good effort here, and his speed is still pretty high. Kickr, he's going to get caught by bag pretty quickly because there's almost a 7 kilometer difference in speeds. This is the slight lump he's just gone over, so that's why his speed is a little bit reduced. Gonzalez. It's nice to see the ladies taking part in this event. There's a ladies race series now being started by a friend of mine, Kate C. And if you look in the RGT users forums, you will find that she's organising group rides and she's organising races on the weekends. So it's just about getting started. She's been going a few weeks now and it's picking up nicely. So if you fancy doing some ladies racing, get on the forum and find Kate C. Okay, I'm just going to quickly shift to the front here and find out how much distance. Okay, Spencer's got 6 kilometers to go, and he's still the man out front. Next man is 460 meters behind him, so the next man behind is George. And then we've got Shaw, and I'm using the view now to look behind them to see, who's chasing them. So there you go. So this is a good view to use to get an idea of who's who on the road and who's catching who. And you can see, in fact, we'll stay with this view for a while because we've got Ferreira coming up now. He's already caught Hicks, and it looks like, or Hicks has gone past him. I'm not sure which that is, looking at the... Yeah, I'd say Ferreira's the man doing the chasing. Yeah. And we'll just stay with these three for a moment. Well, now, there's no drafting on these events. There you go, Pritchard's just giving them the okay. There's no drafting, so when you see them there you go, you can see that Ferreira has just gone whizzing past. Sorry, wrong way. There he is. So he's gone past them both, and there's no drafting in this event, so it doesn't matter if you're sitting on somebody's wheel. In real life, obviously, this is not allowed, but in the virtual world, they turn off drafting for these events. So there's no benefit from sitting on somebody's wheel like there would be if you were racing in Swift. Hicks is putting in a good performance because he's actually staying with, and that's the advantage of this format. You get a carrot that you can chase, and as I say, there's no drafting happening here, but he's using the visual carrot of Ferreira to stay with him, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not breaking the rules. It's fine. In fact, it's a good tactic. Find a faster man coming past you and then dig in deep. It wouldn't be allowed in real life, I have to say. Obviously, I'm flicking backwards now very quickly because I want to get back to the front as quick as I can as well. There's Stuart, race organizer. So he's midfield at the moment. That's the halfway point. Let's just go back and we'll watch as the yellow... no, going wrong way. There we go. The yellow banner that you see there is the halfway point. So these riders are just at the halfway point of the ride. This rider is obviously before the halfway point and approaching. and then all these will be behind the halfway point. For those people that are used to seeing these distances given in miles, I apologise, but I'm a European now, living in the Netherlands, and I use the kilometres almost exclusively, even when I'm out on my own rides in real life. Perez is coming up nice and quickly on Gonzalez. And there's Morales, Fonseca, Durant, and Beans is the last man on the road. Now, what time is it? Not time for me to get on the bike yet. So we'll go back to the front and Spencer, and he's now got 3.3 kilometres to go. So I'm not going to spend too much longer nipping back through the field. You can see he's got 3.3, George has got 3.9, 4.2, 4.3. So these are the riders coming in, and they will all come in pretty quickly. Once I actually start to capture the riders coming in, and I'll change the view. In fact, we'll do that very shortly. We'll change the view so that you get a view of the riders approaching the line, and I can call out the times. I won't call out all the times. I'll call out the times of the people that I think are going to be in contention for the top 3 places, maybe top 5 or 6. Where's Bag gone? What happened to Bag? Have we already passed him? Must have done. Oh no, there he is. So how's he doing? He's still cracking out a nice pace. He's on the plus 0.02 gradient at the moment, so more or less just a slight rise, nothing, almost flat. And he's still putting out over 300 watts, so yeah. Okay, let's get back to the front. You see, he's got 2.1. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'll show you, I'm going to flick the view around so that we actually get Spencer coming into the line in this view. And then I can see when he's, in fact, I'm going to switch around even more. I'm going to switch it this way around. That's better. Now, for me, that's the best view because I can now time him as he goes over the line. I can see his front wheel crossing the shadow on the finish line, and I'll be able to call out his time. Now, at the moment, you can see his time is a 20 minute, and he's got 1.7. So he's going to be about a 23, 24 minute ride, I'm guessing. Now, when I call out the rides, I'll call out, here go, 1 kilometre to go banner. I'll call out a short, a medium, and a long. Now, the short is anything under the 30-second mark. So if it's a 2:28, that's generally regarded as a short. A medium is anything sort of like around the 30-second mark, going up to about 45, and then a long is anything after 45 seconds. So he's currently going under the banner 21.50. So that's a long 21. Now I reckon, as I say, he'll come in with a 23-24, 23 minute or 24 minute ride. So probably a long 23 looking at this. But we'll just check on how far behind him the next rider is. A fair way, so I can stay with Spencer. Obviously, I'll catch every rider finishing, but I may not catch them all going over the line because sometimes they can be so close together I don't have time to actually switch riders. But you will see every rider finish, promise you that. Okay, and here we go. He's finishing well. Nice finishing speed. Look at his nice. He's managed to up the ante on his finish. And yeah, he's going to finish with a short 23, so that's not too bad at all. It's a good time for starters. Okay, 23:12, I think, give or take. Next man on the road is George, and he's coming in under the 1 kilometre to go mark. He's 800 metres. I'll just check how far close. The rider behind him is Ferreira. He's just gone under the kilometre, so he's about 300 metres behind him. A bit less, but there you go. And this is looking like a 25. Again, I'm just going to check the rider behind, make sure he's not going to overtake him. Seems like an eternity when you can see the finish line and you still got the 500 meters to go. I've done this in real life many times. Oops, that's my alarm for getting back on the bike. So we'll just see George finish. And I'll stop that alarm. And we'll see George finish and then I'll get on the bike. I'll leave it on the next rider on the road. So George is coming in with a 25. It'll be a short 25 just. There you go. And then you've got Ferreira coming in and the next rider behind him, Shaw, coming in. 25. And I've just got to turn the pedals and make sure. And we've got two riders here coming in. We've got Glover, he's coming in with a 23, and a 23:05. 04:05 is currently leading the come on. Richard coming in with a 24. So 23:04:05 is currently leading. Yeah, that should do for me. So Pritchard's not challenging that, but good ride nevertheless. And here we've got another 23. It'll be, what's he got? 200. It'll be medium 23. So good effort from Hitchcock. I just check behind him. Yeah. As I say, a medium, no, a mid 23. Okay, and then you've got Heaton Jones with a 24. Okay, Heaton Jones comes in with a 24. Clace comes in with another short 23. So he's currently in second place. Howells with a 24. Check the man behind him, Becky. So Howells is coming in with a 24. Just under 24. Becky is a 24. Now, as I stated at the start of my coverage, I think a 22 will win tonight, maybe even a 21. So Goff's a fair way behind. So 24-22 for Lobecki, give or take. Goff is going to be a 25. Who's behind him? Walsh is behind him. Now, Walsh is putting in a good ride, but can he pick up that time? Can he finish under 23? I'm not sure. He's certainly going to challenge the lead, but I'm not sure he can get there. No, he can't. He's 500 meters behind. He's not going to get there in time. Let's just go back to Goff. And Walsh is closing in. Walsh is going to finish before Goff. He's going to catch him, I think. But he's not going to challenge the lead. He's going to be outside the lead in times. And he might not even catch Goff. Staying with him, just in case he does whiz past in the last. Yeah, he's going to whiz past in the last few meters. So we'll switch from Walsh to Goff, or is he? I think they're both going to finish together. He's doing his best. No, he's finished just behind Goff. There we go. With a 23-23, give or take. So currently third place for Walsh. But I expect those times to be beaten. Just check behind Carter, make sure there's nobody catching him. Carter's coming in with a 27. And Smith obviously behind him. The Stuart Smith is the organizer of this event. So a 27 for Carter, and Stuart Smith is coming in with a nice 23. So a good ride from the organizer, and that's third or fourth place from Stuart. Didn't get Sunerman's time, I'm very sorry. Little is coming in with a 24, short 24. Who's behind Little Ellis? So there's Little's with a 24, and here's a 23 from Ellis. And then we've got Lyndon with another 23. So these 23 people are coming in now, including the organizer. So some good times. But we haven't had Barg in yet, and I expect Barg to be really well up there. Here's Rowbottom. Oh, wait a minute, who's Hunt? Hunt's coming in with a 24. There we go, and quickly shift to Rowbottom behind him with a 23, a short 23. Well done, Rowbottom. That's a good time. Maurer, just make sure there's nobody closing in on him. He's coming in with a 27. By the time he gets to the line, I think he might just make a 26, which is a good ride. Come on, lad, make that 26. Come on. 4, 3. Yes, he's just made it. He's just made the 26. Well done. Gordon with a 25, if he can get there in time, which he can. A 24, sorry. Hayes with a 24. Being caught by Felshaw. Felshaw. So 24 and a 26 for Felshaw. Volk is coming in with a 30. And we've got Barg, and he's not as fast as I thought he was. This is not challenging. He's not even challenging the top 4. A good ride, don't get me wrong, it's a good ride, but he's not challenging. He's not challenging the leaders with this ride. So maybe the leader, I don't know, is a 23 going to win tonight? I don't think so. Unless all the faster riders have stayed home tonight. I know in previous weeks, Rob Stone was one of the latter riders to come over the line, and he absolutely blitzed it. So that could still happen. We've got a 25 there. We've got Carter coming in. He's going to have a 28. Just check behind him. Okay. I do my best to try and flick through the riders as they're coming up to the line. And if I occasionally miss you, my apologies, but it's not easy when you're trying to stay with one rider and then you've got other riders coming in really close behind or together. Knowing which rider to switch to is pretty difficult. I don't think we've done a bad job though. I think we've only missed one rider tonight so far. So tick 0. So I am getting them going across the line. And of course you can flick this YouTube channel on and watch the race anytime afterwards. You can comment. Live comments will be open, so you can comment on the race. And you see, you've got Tixera, and he's coming up on Kevin, but he's not going to catch him. So go back to Kevin. And Kevin's going to finish with a 26. Tixera is not going to be far behind him. There we go, with a 26 too. Okay, and then you've got Voller with a 28. Oh no, it's going to be a 29. Not going to make a 28. just outside. So short, 29 for Voller. And then Perez is coming in with a 26. And BCTT, this is going to be a 29. It's been a good race, but I'll be honest, the majority of the fast boys have stayed home tonight. I don't know why, because 23 is a good time. There's been 21s posted last week and 22s the week before. So tonight's ride is not seeing the highs of the previous 2 weeks. Still exciting to cover. I really enjoy these races. Because they're only short 10s, it's a bit difficult to try and get every rider a lot of coverage, but at least I can do this. I can get riders coming over the line, see them finishing. They can see their own times. They can come back to the time TT and analyze their finishes. So Fonseca just gone under the 1K to go banner, and he's currently on 27. So this is going to be a 29, give or take. Unless, mind you, he's ramping it up. He's trying hard. Just check behind him. No, nobody catching him. He's eased off slightly here, I think. Yes, he has. Look at the power. Definitely eased off here. Tell that from his speed and his power output. So. Live on YouTube. You certainly are, Mr. Little. I enjoy watching this afterwards as well, because while I'm covering it, I don't actually get to see an awful lot. I know that sounds strange, but I don't. I see more when I watch it back afterwards. I also see my own mistakes, so yeah. But it's good fun. It's good fun covering these events. I'm going to cover one of the 25s on the weekend as well when I get the time. I've been busy this last week, but so Fonseca's coming in with a 28. That's a good finish. And Gonzalez, I don't know if this is our only lady. I have to admit I can't recall seeing another lady. So perhaps this is our only lady on the course this week. In previous weeks we've had a few more, but if so, come on ladies, you should be supporting these events. Get your names down. Okay, and we've got a 33, just a 33, yeah. Beans is coming in with a 29. Now, Beans was last man on the road, you might remember, but obviously there's people behind him now. So being last man on the road doesn't mean last man to finish. And he's finished with a mid 29. And then you've got Mr. Durant, and he's going to finish with a 30. Looks like being a long 30. Well, maybe not, maybe a mid 30. Come on, lad. Here we go. Okay. And then you've got Vasvelo, and coming up to the 1 kilometre to go. So I think, unless I'm wrong, yep, Vasvelo is your last man on the road, just coming under the 1 kilometre to go banner. So your winning time I'm going to call it as a 23:04. Let's see whether I'm right this week. I wasn't following that closely, I have to say, but I think a 23:04 is currently leading this race. So let's just message. There we go. Come on, you're nearly there, lad. Hold on. $23.05. So yeah, I said 23:04, 23:05. So Hicks has won it with a 23:05. But a good turnout in the end. I think we had 40 odd riders taking part in the end, so a good turnout and a nice race to cover. I really would like to take part in this myself one week. Perhaps I will. I won't be able to commentate on it, obviously, but I think I will give it an effort and put my name down and get riding. I used to get some pretty fast times on this course, but that was a century ago. So let's see what we can do these days. And here we are with a 38, last man in. Okay. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you very much for your patience. There I am on the road. Look, I'm not, there's no way I'm going to finish this event with 15.51 kilometers still to ride. So I'll say good night. Thanks for watching. And please hit the like button. It helps the channel, and subscribe if you are not already. I'm trying to put some work in on the channel, and the more subscribers I get, the more I can devote time to the channel to promote RGT. Okay, that's it. Stay safe, everybody. See you later.